What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel, Zaynomics Gaming. Today I wanted to go over Falling Guillotine and Crown Splitter, since apparently Crown Splitter is a little bit bugged due to the energy accelerant mod that we got with our seasonal artifact. Now, before we get started, I just wanted to let you know that I did all this testing with a Titan, because you can only use the Crown Splitter with a Titan. So if you have a Warlock or a Hunter, obviously you cannot use the Crown Splitter. Now, as of right now, the energy accelerant mod is only working for the Crown Splitter as far as swords goes. So that's another reason why we're using this to test. Now, I wanted to test it with the Falling Guillotine, but unfortunately, energy accelerant does not work with the Falling Guillotine. So I wanted to see if we could still somehow get the same amount of output within damage with the Falling Guillotine instead of using the Crown Splitter, since it's apparently bugged or glitchy. I'm not really sure. Bungie hasn't said anything about it, and in my opinion, if this mod works with Crown Splitter, it should work with Falling Guillotine and Eternity's Edge, which is the Warlock sword. Yeah, in my opinion, it should, but apparently it doesn't, and it's only working with the Crown Splitter. Now, it does make it do double damage in a sense. I mean, it's just, to me, it's not even really double damage. It's just really inconsistent. There are times where it just throws out tons of different numbers, and you'll see in the freeze frames that I have in this video that I'm just getting all kinds of numbers. It's not really consistent, and the downfall to using the Crown Splitter is it's an aggressive frame sword, so you really have to go against clunky enemies to really get the maximum efficiency out of it. If you're going against Vex or anything with small legs or wizards that like to fly around or anything that likes to teleport, you're gonna have a hard time tracking them because you just don't have the radius that the Falling Guillotine or Eternity's Edge has. Now, for the sake of this video, in the background gameplay, you can see that I am using witherhoard. Witherhoard does tick damage, and it helps me out as far as tracking how much output I'm getting for damage when I use the Breach and Clear mod. And I use the witherhoard for both tests. So when I'm using energy accelerant, I'm using witherhoard. I always hit them with witherhoard and then attack. That was my main game plan to keep the testing consistent. Now, Breach and Clear is great, especially when you're using witherhoard. Unfortunately, we can't use Anarchy in this situation because that is a heavy weapon, and Anarchy does put out more damage and more tick damage over time compared to witherhoard, just because you could keep shooting grenades at it as much as you want. Compared to witherhoard, it's just a breach loaded grenade launcher, but you got to work with what you got. And as you can see in the background gameplay, I'm getting 10,100 damage per tick with Breach and Clear mod while I'm using witherhoard, and that is fantastic. And it takes 9 energy to use Breach and Clear, but for the sake of use, you know, Crown Splitter, you gotta use a Titan. Whereas if you're just using Falling Guillotine or even a rocket launcher, you don't really need to use a sword. Breach and Clear is just outstanding, and I feel like it's better. Now, if you're trying to save on energy, well, then energy accelerant is your friend, especially if you play as a Titan. If that's the main thing that you play, then you'll be happy that this mod is cracked and you can use Crown Splitter to, you know, destroy all kind of enemies. I mean, it works great. I absolutely had so much fun playing with it, and you'll see towards the end of the video where at the main boss fight, I pretty much just kill everybody in a single slam, and I have like 400,000 damage numbers, you know, 399, 258, I just have them everywhere. So it's really hard to just maximize how much damage I'm really getting out of energy accelerant, especially since it's not really intended to work with Crown Splitter. And I think that's the main issue, whereas nobody really knows. But I feel like since Breach and Clear is in the game, it kind of gives a level playing field for everybody. So it's not just a cracked mod that only Titans can use. You know, only Titans can use the mod for Crown Splitter, but if you're using Breach and Clear, you can virtually use any other heavy weapon that you want and still just annihilate everybody. So with that being said, you know, I really wouldn't panic too much if I was Bungie. Hopefully Bungie won't even touch it or do anything about it. Right now they haven't said anything, which is good. I feel like, you know, when you have some of these cracked weapons or cracked mods or anything that's kind of somewhat broken, it just brings a lot of, you know, excitement back into the game. And that's what we enjoy about playing this game, is you never know what's going to happen. That's the biggest thing for me. Every season when new mods come out, you know, it kind of sparks an interest. It's kind of like seasoning. You know, we're seasoning the game with these artifact mods. So I really enjoy them. Hopefully Bungie doesn't touch it at all. Now let's jump right into the build. Now for Crown Splitter, I have Jagged Edge, Heavy Guard, Tireless Blade, which gives me ammo for every other powered sword kill. So I essentially get ammo back. And I have Vorpal Weapon. Vorpal Weapon is more consistent on this sword. If you do have a roll with Whirlwind Blade, it's okay. You just have to remember that you got to get that ×5 to really get the maximum damage out of it, which I don't really think is necessary. And it's also kind of difficult to do, especially like I said, if you're not facing clunky enemies. If you're like this week, we have the Inverted Spire. He likes to move around. He has real tiny legs. The next thing you know, you take a swing and you're falling off the map and you're dead. So I don't really feel like Whirlwind Blade is really worth it on the Crown Splitter, especially since it uses up more ammo. Now, Whirlwind Blade on Falling Guillotine is absolutely amazing, especially since you see in the background gameplay that's currently playing right now. I'm hitting him with the Breach and Clear mod, and I'm just, you know, with the Witherhoard, I'm getting that tick damage, and I'm just annihilating them with my heavy attack. Now for my Falling Guillotine roll, I have Jagged Edge as before. I also have Swordmaster's Guard. Now this is a little bit different. I have lower overall defenses, but that's not what I'm using this sword for. I'm using it to kill. So this perk itself increases the charge rate, so I can get that heavier attack more readily available. Now, I also have Tireless Blade and Whirlwind Blade. It is easier to prot Whirlwind Blade on Falling Guillotine than it is on Crown Splitter, so that's something to keep in mind. And just like I said before, with Falling Guillotine, you can use it on any class, so it is definitely probably the best sword in the game in my opinion. Now, when it comes to the Titan itself, I am using Cuirass of the Falling Star, and I'm using Thunder Crash. That also helps me get a little bit more DPS. You know, I'm trying to see how much DPS I can get out of this all together with Breach and Clear, with the super, just everything. And I'm trying so hard to see what is more efficient. And honestly, I really can't tell between Energy Accelerant with the Crown Splitter and Breach and Clear with Falling Guillotine and Crown Splitter. They're really good. I really can't tell the difference between the two. If there were no damage numbers, I'd have no idea. And that's just how I feel about it. So with that being said, do I think it's necessary to go out and say, oh, I need Crown Splitter, I gotta get Energy Accelerant, it puts out the most DPS? That's not necessarily true. Does it do great? Yeah, it does, but it's not needed, it's not essential. And you'll see right here, I do this big slam and I got numbers everywhere. I just killed everybody. And I feel like that is the main thing with the Crown Splitter and Energy Accelerant. Once you get that first kill, it kind of chains. And I guess that's why this mod is sort of broken with this sword. It's not supposed to work. It's just not supposed to. And it does. For some reason, it just does. So once you get that first kill off, it's just everything else within the slam just explodes. And like I said, I've tried this on other swords and it doesn't work, even other aggressive frames. So this is definitely a bug, it's definitely a glitch, but it's a fun glitch to have inside the game. It gives players more options and more ways to have fun inside of Destiny 2. Now to take this a step further, I am using Lucent Blade. It is a Charge of Light mod, and it states, while charged with light, dealing damage with a sword gives you a bonus sword damage for 5 seconds, consuming 1 stack of Charge with Light. Replenishing guard greatly increases the charge rate for your equipped swords. Now one thing about Crown Splitter, if you plan on using Energy Accelerant or the Breach and Clear mod, it depends on what flavor you're trying to go for. You have to make sure that your sword is charged all the way before you commit to that heavy attack, especially with Crown Splitter. Otherwise your damage will suffer significantly compared to when it's fully charged. Now my final thoughts on this topic are very simple. Falling Guillotine is the best sword currently inside of Destiny 2. Even though Crown Splitter is bugged and Energy Accelerant is fun to use, it is still not the best sword compared to Falling Guillotine. because of one reason and one reason only. You can use the Falling Guillotine on any class. If you want outstanding DPS, all you need to do is put on a Lucent Blade charged with light mod, have a well-rolled Falling Guillotine, preferably with Whirlwind Blade, and use the Breach and Clear mod. That's all you gotta do. Breach and Clear, witherhoard. It's easy to get. If you played during that season, most of you should have witherhoard already, and that will help you destroy any enemies that you need to destroy, especially those champions. You don't even have to worry about champions no more. Champions are done with. We don't even need mods, barrier mods, unstoppable mods. We don't need any of that crap now. Not with Breach and Clear. And the real bug, the real main issue with this season's artifact mods is Breach and Clear. It's not even energy accelerant anymore. It's Breach and Clear, because Breach and Clear is just amazing, especially with Anarchy and Witherhoard. You get that debuff for so long. It's like 10 seconds. And you could just keep popping shots off, debuff, debuff, debuff. And next thing you know, they're just dead. So you don't really need Crown Splitter. You don't even need a sword. You could go in there with a rocket launcher. I think that's what my next video will be about. So you guys can see what rocket launchers can put out the most damage with the Breach and Clear mod. I'm just gonna go crazy with Breach and Clear this season. And from there, I guess I'm just going to end it. I hope you all have a wonderful day. If you enjoy this content, please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. It's greatly appreciated. I thank you all so much for the support. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you.